Welcome back, focused learners, to another explainer. All right, picture this. Dawn breaks, silence hangs in the air. Then suddenly, your alarm shatters the stillness. We've all been there, right? And in that single, fleeting moment, before your mind floods with a million thoughts, before the world makes its endless demands of you, you hold pure potential. Marcus Aurelius actually knew this battle intimately. As the ruler of Rome, a warrior, and a philosopher, he faced mornings exactly like yours. He even wrote in his private journal at dawn that when you have trouble getting out of bed, you have to tell yourself, I have to go to work as a human being, not as a slave to comfort, not as a victim of circumstance, but as a human being who actively chooses strength over weakness and discipline over drift.
Okay, let's dive into this. Right here, right now, in the quiet of the morning, you have a massive choice to make. You can either just let this day happen to you, passively taking whatever comes your way, or you can seize it with both hands and make it completely yours.
Listen, your mind will either be your greatest weapon or your own personal prison. And honestly, that decision gets made in the first 30 minutes after you wake up. Think about it. Most people hand their power away before breakfast. They grab their phones, they scroll, they let anxiety, comparison, and absolute chaos flood their consciousness. And by the time they realize what happened, the day already owns them. But not you, not today. Stoicism cuts through all that noise with one razor-sharp truth. You cannot control the world, but you absolutely can master your response to it. And that mastery begins the exact second you open your eyes. It begins when you decide that this singular, unrepeatable morning will not be wasted on autopilot.
And this brilliantly illustrates a concept the Stoics called memento mori, which translates to the remembrance of death. Now, I know that sounds a bit intense, but it's really not meant to make you sad. It is an incredibly powerful wake-up call. Every single morning, you are handed 24 brand new hours. And here's the catch. They are going to disappear, whether you use them purposefully or not. It's exactly like Seneca wrote. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Remembering that we don't have forever is the ultimate reminder to stop throwing our mornings away on things that just don't matter.
Section 1. Master your inner world. Win the battle in mind.
You see, the battle for your day is actually won or lost entirely in your mind way before your feet ever even touch the floor. If you wake up thinking, I don't want to do this, well, you probably won't. The great Stoic philosopher Seneca warned us perfectly about this. He said, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. And wow, is that true? If we don't actively train our minds, we just let our untamed thoughts pull us in every possible direction, running straight toward fear, anxiety, and all of yesterday's heavy baggage.
I want to challenge you directly for a second here. Are you rehearsing failure in your mind? Seriously, how many mornings have you started trapped in a mental prison of your very own creation, worrying for hours about things that never even end up happening? Every sunrise is a reset button. It's a second chance, a clean slate handed to you by the universe itself. It's time to stop imagining worst-case scenarios and start commanding your morning instead.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that the Stoics practiced something called the discipline of assent. They didn't just force toxic positivity on themselves. They didn't just pretend everything was sunshine and rainbows. Instead, they intentionally protected their vulnerable morning minds. When you first wake up, your brain is fuzzy, right? That's exactly when doubt and fear try to sneak in. The discipline of assent is the practice of catching those thoughts and saying, nope. This is just mental static, and I actively dismiss it.
So, to quickly summarize these inner world practices. First, declare the day yours. Start with a simple statement, today is mine, I own it. Second, question your negative thoughts. Don't just accept them as absolute facts. Third, confine yourself strictly to the present moment. And fourth, aggressively filter out that mental static. By simply dropping yesterday's heavy backpack of regrets and grounding yourself firmly in today, you instantly reclaim your power.
Let's move to section 2 and see how this builds. Build unstoppable momentum, the physics of the morning.
We've talked about mental defense. Now it's time for physical action. You know how in physics an object in motion stays in motion? Well, your morning is exactly the same. Momentum is literally everything. It's the difference between people who just talk about change and people who actually become it. If you start your morning slow, distracted, and half-hearted, that sluggish energy just kind of follows you all day. But if you start strong, with clarity and absolute focus, you build an unstoppable force. Listen, you don't need to have your entire life figured out. You really don't. You just need to win the next 60 minutes.
And you cannot wait around to feel ready. Seneca hits us with another hard truth right here. While we wait for life, life passes. Procrastination is the silent killer of our potential.
Most people are just sitting around waiting for the perfect conditions. More time, more energy, more motivation. But let me tell you a secret. Perfect conditions never come. Action is the ultimate antidote to anxiety.
So here is exactly how you put that into practice. Attack the day immediately. Don't negotiate with yourself. Then, focus your energy on one single task. Single-mindedness creates energy, while divided attention completely drains it. Next, stack small, consistent wins. Doing 10 push-ups or reading just one page builds crucial trust with yourself. Greatness is actually built rep by rep through these tiny morning victories. And finally, make sure you finish the day stronger than you started it.
Section 3. Discipline equals true freedom.
This concept completely flips modern thinking on its head. Most people today look at discipline and they just see a cage. They see restriction and a lack of fun. But when you're undisciplined, you're actually a slave. You're a slave to your impulses, a slave to your scrolling habit, a slave to your sudden fears. It's absolute chaos. On the flip side, the disciplined mind is the master of its choices, firmly rooted in values, which brings immense peace. When you handle the hard stuff early in the morning, you aren't scrambling and stressed out later in the day. You've already won.
So, the crucial point is captured beautifully here by Epictetus, who, by the way, was actually a slave himself before gaining his freedom. He said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." True freedom isn't just doing whatever you want, whenever you want. True freedom is having the inner power to say no to cheap, short-term pleasure in exchange for deep, long-term fulfillment. It's won by disregarding things that lie totally beyond our control.
Section 4. The choice is yours. Be the author of your day.
Because the ultimate truth here is that no one else is coming to save your day. No one is going to decide what you accomplish or how you feel. It is all on you. So here are your final marching orders. Step 1, take total ownership of your inner world. Step 2, shift your mindset from a victim to an active agent. Even when you're facing life's absolute worst curveballs, shifting from asking, why is this happening to me, to what can I do right now, changes everything. And step 3, commit to daily disciplined action. If you waste today, you're literally practicing wasting your life. If you honor today, you're practicing a life of meaning. You are the author of your day.
Let's look at this final piece of ancient wisdom from Marcus Aurelius. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Listen, watching this explainer, reading philosophy, nodding along, none of that actually changes anything by itself. These aren't just motivational band-aids. These are battle-tested principles that helped emperors survive chaos. It's what you physically get up and do tomorrow morning that counts. You have to take the wisdom and live it. And I need something from you right now. Hit that like button. Not later, now. Drop a comment telling me you're ready to change your mornings, share this with one person who needs to hear it, and subscribe to this channel because we're building an army of people who refuse to live on autopilot.
Which leaves us with one final unavoidable question. Who will you be tomorrow morning? Are you going to hit snooze, let your mind wander into anxiety, and hand your power away on autopilot? Or are you going to rise, take absolute command, and greet your next sunrise with intentional, unwavering discipline? The choice is entirely yours.